something from the Kim Kardashian line called Skins. I guess she's got some,
Yeah.
I don't know, she carries some products, some clothing or something. And the box was completely cardboard colored. It looked sustainable. It played to that crowd. It was embossed, and then over the top of it, it had black ink and it had varnish. So they really brought it up a good, and it felt like almost a full 16th of an inch between the embossing and the embellishment. So it was even a very plain brown box can be made somewhat special by embellishment. So I'm really impressed.
That's cool.
It could have been foil. It could have been black foil, but likely it was.
Yeah, I've seen people do black toner onto black paper, and then bump that, and it gives it a shine. Kind of looks like a spot UV. I thought that was kind of fun. All right, guys, I think we're going to kick this off. I know we still have about 4 or 5 people that thought that said that they were going to join. But I'd like to welcome everybody to the second operator meeting of the month. And without further ado, our host, Ken, it's all you, buddy. Take it over. Thanks for being here, everybody. It's a pleasure.
Sure. Thanks as always, Kevin. It's great to be here. Great to see you guys. I thought a great topic of conversation, especially since we have Matt Redbear with us this morning, might be some of the trends that you guys are seeing in your holiday embellishment projects. I know that sometimes the foil colors can get a little crazy, and it can provide some real interesting challenges, whether it be the cracked ice foil or the just simply silver, coordinating it with the right colors. I'm curious to know what you guys are seeing and if it's causing you any challenges. What do you got? What do you have going on, Matt?
This year it's glitter. Everything is glitter. Glitter. Every job after job after job. I had 3 jobs in a row that's all glitter. And it's pretty simple. I mean, what they're doing, I wonder if I have a blank sheet. I don't think so. I mean, this was just 185 red.
Yeah.
PMS 185 red. It's on a coated stock, Star Dream, so it has that bit of a speckly sheen to it.
Yeah.
They put the ink on top of it. It kind of still has some of that speckle effect, but it's more softened. And it was this was run on the press. This was run offset. So it was a tough job to run, getting the fountain to ink ratio correct, because nothing soaks into this paper. It all lays on top. So I feel for the pressman that ran this job. A lot of powder. I was choking on it all night. I was covered with powder when I left here yesterday. I ran a comb through my beard and it looked like a line of coke.
Well, I hope you realize that you can make that pressman turn one of his ink units on impression with no ink, and what they call dust the sheets. The blankets will pull the powder off. I hope they do that for you.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a Ryobi 756, so I don't know that, and it's not that well maintained. It's a 6 or 7 tower, and I think they usually have 2 towers that are down at any given moment.
Oh no.
Company I used to work for. So, but the fact that they had to clean out all the wells, or at least one of them, to put the PMS color in there to run this job. It's a big job. But it's all this glitter foil, glitter holographic, everything.
I remember that one. That was like what something dots, like millions of dots, or
lots of dots. Crown.
Yeah, whose foil is it? Crown.
Crown. No, Crown did one. I got.
Yeah, some of the operators in post press don't realize that they can take that sheet, turn on an ink unit, and literally just put it on impression, and it will remove a lot of dust.
Yeah. I didn't even know that was a thing.
So
yeah,
Crown, I'm sorry.
Go
ahead.
No, I was just going to say that it sometimes can't be in the run with the wet ink because you still need to powder it, but after it's dry, sometimes you can blast those sheets through in 10 minutes and save guys like Matt and Adam a ton of time trying to get all that powder off, because it can be a real pain in the GI.
I was literally in a cloud of powder all day yesterday. I was choking on it. My throat was raw from breathing it. My eyes were all gunked up. Still having problems today. This was the Crown Lots of Dots, and you can see it has lots of dots compared to the K Laser glitter.
It's more fine. So
Yeah.
it's much
finer. The problem I had with this is if you put it on like dots, ornaments, fine detail, little spots, small areas, you're lucky if you hit a dot or not. So with this, the K Laser glitter, then you're able to get more dots within a smaller area, and then you actually capture that effect. So I was really pleased with that. But that seems to be what everybody wants this year, in addition to this clear pearlescent.
Right. Yeah, that's a pretty popular one as well.
That one.
Yeah.
Now, some of those specialty foils are really picky with the heat. What do you find yourself running that at as far as speed and heat as well?
Oh, it totally depends on what it's going on top of. For example, I ran a test sheet for this on, it was the same paper. It was the Star Dream, same stock, same weight. It was run on the Irides. And so we did a test run to make sure, a live proof to make sure that it was what the customer wanted before we went to, the offset press and the large volume. The settings between what came off of the Irides versus this were completely different. Temperature, speed was the same, curing was the same, but temperature was completely different thing. I also ran a card for Moss Construction, and they had very small dots of this same foil. That ran at almost 130.
Yeah.
And this ran at 110. So you wouldn't think there would be that much of a difference between it's the same foil going on a similar stock, but they were printed two different ways. So
it's the reflective quality of the substrate too. It sounds like that was very highly coated, so you were probably able to get away with a little less.
Yeah, and this has that shimmery effect to it. So this actually has a lot of problems when it comes to dealing with the scanner as well.
And how often did you have to clean your sticky roller with all that powder?
I'd stop it like every hour and go rinse it off. It just felt like felt. It was so fuzzy and white. So, what can you do? You just clean and go on.
Yeah, I had the same one today. Those offset sheets are a nightmare. I don't care how well they think they've cleaned the dust off. It's not completely clean. So I had 2,500 sheets, and I think I had to clean all three of my rollers probably 5 times.
Yeah. This was
Adam, are you also finding that getting away from the traditional red and green, and it seems to be that more silver and specialty foils are being used around the holidays? What are you finding?
My people aren't. It's silver and red and green, and nobody's bouncing outside of that.
Yeah, we're running gold, lots of silver, rolls and rolls and rolls of silver, because that's what one of our clients likes. Every year they want silver. This company normally runs, its Ryder, usually runs gold. This year they went with the premium. Of course, this foil is like 8 times the cost of just typical gold.
But for example, Matt, question for you. They've always gone, you said, with gold. Now they're going with like a holographic.
Yeah.
Were you there in the meeting where you were like, well, we could do it with this new foil that just came out? Or how does that conversation go? How do you
It was my recommendation to the salesperson. I said, hey, we've got this foil. It's similar to what everybody wanted last year. It's really cool. See if they'll go for it. Basically, you just suggest it. And then they take a sample back to the customer and they're like, yeah, I'd like to see a live proof. We run a live proof. They're like, hell yeah. And then there you have it.
Yeah, that's a big key. And I also think that one of the great things to do with that foil is to make big snowflakes. I mean, it's great because you get that iridescent look to them when you tilt it, and people really seem to like that.
Uh-huh.
You say you're still doing a lot of red and green, Adam. What kind of projects are you doing? Are you doing? Is it a lot of Christmas cards, or tell me about the
I don't
products?
have a lot of Christmas work.
Oh, you don't?
I mean, there's uh, maybe I've done like four, but uh, it's just not a big thing for my machine.
Boy, it really seems like a lost marketing opportunity because when people are looking to spend money, it's usually this time of the year to whether it be to raise funds or to just really endear themselves to their client. I'm surprised. That's a real
Yeah,
marketing opportunity for your company.
yeah. I've throughout even the past 10 years, I always thought Christmas time, Christmas cards, and was going to be huge, but people just don't send them out like they used to.
We
you
have
guys have any like a marketing idea where all the people who print with you send them an email, be like, hey, it's Christmas time. Do you need Christmas cards done or something like that? Or are you guys like pitching your current client base? Because like anybody who orders from you has clients, right? I mean, that's the
Hmm.
idea. I wonder if anybody does that. Was that a thing that you did, Ken? Is that the thing you do, Matt or Adam, where
Yeah,
you're
we don't market for it at all.
Yeah, we would ramp up as it got close to the holidays. We knew which clients already did cards with us. And if I
Hmm.
had time at all, I would get some samples to the press and try and pre-sell it before the holidays even got there. Because almost every time I did a sample for a client, they came back and either just made small adjustments, but we for sure got their order, right? It was a slam dunk. Because you can't go and get customized cards anywhere that have that kind of, I mean, you might be able to go to a store and pick up a box of something with actual glitter, but I don't
Hmm.
think anybody wants actual glitter.
nobody wants to touch
Not not anymore. I mean, I actually had that conversation with my mother because she always sends me Christmas cards, whatever, with glitter, and I'm like, stop with the glitter. It's nasty. It's bad for the environment. Don't support
that.
glitter. And she just wasn't aware at all. So now she is.
Yeah.
Adam, what successes have you had throughout the last? I think we missed you last time, maybe 3 or 4 weeks.
Wouldn't say successes, but kind of some nightmares with
Well,
that.
let's talk about it.
Yeah.
I think I remember asking you, when do you know your four roller is bad? You said, oh, I think you said, oh, you'll know. And you were right. And I didn't have a backup, so I'm kind of fighting with that right now. I did get a loaner roller that they put in, and I've got my roller sent off to get resurfaced, but it's been kind of a nightmare because I can't get any specs on the roller, and the people that are wanting to resurface it are asking questions that I just don't have answers to. Um, so that would that's been a little frustrating, but
So
uh,
What they
who did
are asking
you
for?
do to try and solve your problem? Get your
they're
questions.
just they're wanting like blueprints of the roller because they don't know how to take it apart and what they're just wanting something to so they don't mess it up.
That's understandable. I mean, they want specs, and
Yeah.
that's sometimes it's hard to get out of the manufacturers. Marco, how cooperative have you guys been trying to help operators get those questions answered?
We did it as I wrote for one customer, but my guys get out the roller from the service guys get the roller out from the iFoil T, and after that I don't know what he did it, but I know he sent only the roller without anything, without that parts with bearings and everything. He dismantled it by himself and sent only the roller for refurbishing.
Is that something that you guys recommend that operators have on site as an extra roller so that can always be swapped out, or what's the official
Uh,
on that?
basically no, because we are opting for changing with the original one. But the original one, let's say in Croatia, is 3,000 plus euros. But in that case, you get the complete set. You get the new bearings, you get the new roller, now the orange one, and you basically you get complete set, not only the roller. And the roller, I think the resurfacing for the iFoil S, the 3DS machine, or iFoil T, the same. It was something around 500 euros in Croatia, Slovenia, something like this. And this was the reason why they opted for that, because the machine is out of warranty and they wanted a cheaper thing.
Good, interesting. Adam, I assume you've thought through the fact that the outside edges of the roller are probably somewhat intact, and you could probably spin an image if you had something small. I hope you at least kept that in mind, because it's usually the center that goes the fastest.
Yeah, I played with that, but it slowly kept just spreading, and to where I ended up with pretty much no surface area that I could use without, because I do a lot of 2029 sheets.
Do you find it difficult to tell whether or not it's a difficult foil, or if you actually have a foil roller going bad?
Once I really inspected the roller, and once I saw where my issue was, I found 2 or 3 more spots that were giving me issues, and that's when I was like, wow, my roller's bad. Because at first I'm like, man, I'm playing with all my settings and doing all that, thinking it was me, and I'm like, eventually I'm like, I don't think this is me. So I just stopped production and got my flashlights out, ripped the foil off and just started. I turned the speed way down to like 4, so it was just spinning slowly, and I'm just looking, and I'm like, and then of course you got to try to stop where you think the spot is, and then once I saw one spot, I kept 2, 3 more. And then once we pulled it out, I was able to actually get it and twist it, and got my camera on it, and it was eat up. So
Yeah, I think
it
there's
was
two
definitely
ways.
time to replace it.
There's 2 ways you can get a good look at what that roller, what kind of shape it's in. I found that running that temperature up as high as it'll let you go, and putting it on a flat square of black toner, actually sleeking the foil on, that really can show your flaws in the roller, right? Because you don't have any inconsistency in the liquid or the varnish. You've just got flat toner on a thick sheet of paper, and if you drop that roller and you see all kinds of flaws in it, it's the telltale sign that something's going wrong, and you probably should consider doing that about once a month, just to give you a heads up that, oh man,
That's a
I got a
great
mark.
idea.
Yeah, I mean, you can do it with varnish as well, but sometimes the varnish, when you put a big solid of varnish down, it's not the most consistent surface to do that with. So something to keep in mind. Matt, I never hear you mention problems with your foil roller. You had really good luck?
I have never had problems with my foil roller. The majority of what we run is foil. I pretend that foil roller isn't there, so I don't clean it, I don't maintain it, I don't do anything to that roller. If there's a buildup of something on the roller, I leave it there. I don't clean it. I just, it's like, it's not even on my radar, and I haven't had any problems with it at all. Now, I don't know how many hours. I should actually look to see how many hours I'm at, but that's not a good indicator. But, we're running up on 4 years of service on this machine. So I would be thinking I'm about due to start
Yeah, I
having
think that's about the right window.
some pits and problems to start showing up. And as far as I can tell, I'm not having any issues whatsoever. Some of the especially with the foils that I've been using lately, I've been having some of the best foil jobs that I have ever done in this last month. So
Yeah.
Now, I will say I probably know why my roller is annihilated, because at least 50% of the foil work I do has 10 mil lamb on it.
Yeah.
So if I've got, the way that lamb goes through there, if my lamb's not laying down and it gets a corner of that 10 mil, you're poking that roller.
Yeah.
You know.
Kevin, I noticed
So.
Nolan's joined us.
Yeah,
Are you there,
Nolan.
Nolan?
Yeah, Nolan from NAPCO in North Carolina. How you doing, Nolan? Are you with us today?
Hey, over here. Well, one of the reasons is that that team saying got been going into the big TV conference.
No.
But as far as like,
Hey, buddy, Nolan. I know you're trying to talk, but we're hearing like one out of every 4 words on you. So I think maybe you might be a bad reception area.
can you hear me now?
I can actually, yeah.
Yeah, it might have been because the camera is like done the same way else there, like so. But yeah, some of my issues, success, that's the thing.
Yeah. Nolan, we're having a really tough time hearing you. And that Christmas miracle doesn't apply to Nolan, I guess. This time. For once, we got Matt and Adam, whose audio is spot on. And I guess Nolan had to fall on you today, my friend. I apologize. We can't hear you.
What else you got
Matt.
for us, Adam? I know you said you had a couple of issues other than the foil roller. Did you come across something else?
No, not necessarily. Just I've been done with that for a couple weeks. I did get the new orange roller ordered, but I guess it's on back order without a delivery date. So I think that's an issue that Konica is trying to work out.
Interesting.
So I should probably start thinking about this because I'm assuming once it goes bad, you get a pit or a dropout, and then suddenly it starts to spread quickly, is from what I'm hearing. And so I should probably get in touch with someone to find out what my resources or what I need to do at that point, because
Yeah, it sounds like the orange roller is the way to go, according to Marco, and obviously he can elaborate on that. But I think the other thing that sometimes you don't realize is that the pressure ends up lower in the middle and higher on the sides, and you end up fighting an awful lot of wrinkles that you can't get rid of. So that's another sign that you're getting toward the end of the life. But Marco, the orange one's the way to go now, right?
Yeah, the orange one's now the only one that is sellable through the MGI or Konica, basically from Konica, and it's a new ones and have the yield twice as much as the black ones.
What about
That
temperatures? Is it able to withstand higher temperatures?
Basically, you are on the same, because temperature is mostly because of the from my point of view, of the temperature of the glue of the on the foiling. So we are sticking on the same temperature. Although on the new 3D iFoil 1 machine, I was putting foil on 105 Celsius, and let's say on the Evo I'm on 130 now on this job.
Wow.
So
what brand of foil were you using?
Basically, almost always I use the original M series from MGI, but we also I now use Hungarian foil from Lemaco, but I think they are not producer of the foil. They are just buying the jumbo rolls, yes, and trim it to smaller rolls or 2 meters, what they want. Yeah, they are just, I think, bigger resellers. And I wanted to ask Matt, on which pressures do you work on 3DS?
There again, everything varies depending on the substrate. It depends on whether I have to do both sides of the sheet, and especially if it has to go through the machine more than twice. So if I'm running two or three different foils, that has a lot of bearing on it. But typically, if I'm not worried about anything, I'll just leave it at 100%. And if I'm having to dance around certain considerations, like if there's a possibility, I'll tend to run my varnish heavy. So it may, with higher pressures, it will tend to appear to emboss through to the other side. You get that ghost effect on the opposite side as if it had actually been traditionally embossed. Then I'll cut it back to, 75, 62 there in that range. And as long as I don't see a decrease in the quality of the foil, then I'm good with that.
Because I tend to learn my customers to use pressure as on a standard foiling with the die, least amount pressure for the good impression. You know what I mean?
Yes, yeah.
Because if you always use the 100% of the pressure, basically you will, from my point of view, you will ruin the roller much sooner because it's always on the same pressure.
Gotcha.
Awesome.
So this is what I teach my customers on the training and everything, just to use it as low as they can because of the roller and everything, because it's rubber roller. Eventually it will go away.
Yeah, that's what I try to do. On my machine, I have a toggle for the roller that lets you toggle the pressure, what your pressure is at. And I take a piece of like 60-pound uncoated text and I put it under the roller, press it down and see how easily it comes out, and make sure my pressure's even throughout the roller. And then once that 60-pound uncoated text kind of grabs but easily comes out, and say my pressure's at 1, then I'll go to 0.9 just to, or 0.95 just to know that I'm just barely touching that paper.
Yeah, because iFoil L, your iFoil has the different settings that the 3DS. 3DS has electrical jacks, and Matt can set it up in a GVTI with a percentage of the pressure, and you need to change it by the number and wait to adjust the height of the roller. Right. So just to be clear, it's difference on a big machine and a small machine.
Yeah.
Well, listen, guys, thank you. I mean, it's been a great conversation here. Marco, I want to thank you as always for coming on with your factory insights, and our Jedi Master Matt Redbear was able to join us today. That's awesome. Your insight is always a help to us all. And Adam, I'm glad you joined us.
Yeah, man, we missed it.
Yeah. And Nolan, if you ever get your audio worked out, we really are excited to hear what you have to say. I hope your things are going well in your jet varnish world.
All right. Well, thank you everybody for coming. It's been a pleasure, Ken. As always, great conversation. Question before we go: would you guys be interested? People from like the foil companies or lamination companies or the paper companies come out and maybe give us some technical information about some of the stuff that they have that would be compatible with the jet varnish. Would that be interesting for you guys at all to have like separate sessions to kind of go to know what's out there, or not at all?
Absolutely.
Oh yeah. Okay, Matt, what do you think?
I was actually deep in thought about that because, well, it's kind of a win-win to do it. First of all, it gives everybody the opportunity to exchange information. But beyond that, it's going to raise a lot of questions. And it's probably going to raise a lot of questions for the suppliers and for the distributors about what our needs are. So it's going to probably, rather than coming in and educating us, I think we're going to probably end up posing a lot of questions and situations. Yeah. They're going to have to go back to their organization and then come back to us with deeper information. So that's going to start a new cycle that I think we need to do.
So maybe at the R&D level.
I love challenging vendors. It's my favorite.
Yeah, you're good at that. I remember. I was on the other side of that conversation. All right, guys. Well, listen, let me look into it. I know that it could potentially be good for us to get, good relationships with technical resources. And let me reach out to some people, see if they're interested in coming on and educating us about what they're working on and how that could make our lives easier in the field.
Right on.
All right, guys.
Have a good week, guys.
Thanks again.
All right.
See ya.
See ya.